Today, it is our honor and privilege to have as our commencement speaker, the Honorable John Lewis. Please join me in welcoming Jabir McKnight, President of the Student Government Association, who will introduce our speaker. Jabir.
None of us know who we are until we fail. The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a nasty place. It'll keep you down so long as you let it. It'll keep you down permanently if you let it. But the true test of us all is showing resilience in the face of certain defeat. What determines who we are is not how many times we fall, but how many times we get up. Courage is defined as strength in the face of grief. Over the previous 4 years, we've all been through hardships that have tried us, lost family members, severed bonds. Remember the moments when the world felt dim. Remember when it seems as though nothing was working in your favor. Yet, after a treacherous journey, on May 5th, 2019, you are all here, graduates of the first degree-granting institution, Lincoln University. For some of us, we are deciding the future of our families. You should be proud to be here, regardless of what's in the back of your mind. Am I ready? Do I have what it takes? You made it thus far, and God blessed you with what it takes to go even farther. Your journey has just begun. Every generation leaves behind a legacy. What that legacy will be is determined by the people of that generation. What legacy do you want to leave behind? That quote is by our esteemed keynote speaker, the Honorable Congressman John Lewis. Often called one of the most courageous persons the civil rights movement has ever produced, John Lewis has dedicated his life to protecting human rights, securing civil liberties, and building what he calls the beloved community in America. His dedication to the highest ethical standards and moral principles has won him admiration by many of his colleagues on both sides of the aisle in the United States Congress. Please join me in a round of applause as he comes to the stage.
Hello, everybody. I know it's raining. I know it's wet. And you don't want to continue to get wet, right? So the speech that I have, Madam President, I'm going to make it short. You look good. You look very good in spite of the rain. President Allen, members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty and guests, administrators and staff, proud parents, family, students, and friends, and to the class of 2019, congratulations. You did it. Brother, I want to thank you for those kind words of introduction. Thank you. I must tell you that I'm delighted and very pleased and honored to be here at Lincoln University, the first historic black college chartered in the United States. What a great history you have. You should be very proud. I am happy that I had the opportunity to know the first black president of Lincoln University, Horace Mann Bond. He was the father of a good friend of mine, Julian Bond, the communication director of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in the 60s, and later the chairman of the NAACP. I got to know Clarence Mitchell, another graduate of Lincoln, who was a powerful lobbyist for the NAACP during the Civil Rights Movement. People called him the 101st Senator because of his persistent and effective work on Capitol Hill. I got to know Thurgood Marshall, Langston Hughes, one of the founders of Ghana and one of the founders of Nigeria, and many graduates of Lincoln. Today you should enjoy it. Take a long, deep breath. Take it all in. But after the parties and celebration are over, get ready to roll up your sleeves and go to work. We need you now more than ever before. I grew up in rural Alabama, 50 miles from Montgomery. I started at a little place called Troy. My father was a sharecropper, a tenant farmer. But back in 1944, when I was 4 years old, and I do remember when I was 4, he had saved $300 and a man sold him 110 acres of land. We still own that land today. On this farm, we raise a lot of cotton and corn, peanuts, hogs, cows, and chicken. On the farm, it was my responsibility to care for the chickens, and I fell in love with raising the chickens. And I know some of you like to eat chicken, but you don't know anything about raising chicken. But as a little boy, about 8 or 9 or 10 years old, I wanted to be a minister. And we would gather all of our chickens together in the chicken yard, and I would preach to the chickens. And on one occasion, I tried to baptize one, and it didn't work. But when I look back on it, some of those chickens that I raised tended to listen to me much better than some of my colleagues in the Congress. And matter of fact, some of those chickens were just a little more productive. So I said to you, today is your day. Enjoy it. Take a long, deep breath and take it all in. But after the parties are over, after the celebration, get ready to roll up your sleeves and go to work. There's a world waiting for you. Now, during the height of the Civil Rights Movement, I got involved. I met Rosa Parks in 1957 when I was 17. The next year, at the age of 18, I met Martin Luther King Jr., and I became part of that movement. The youngest speaker at the March on Washington when I was 23 in 1963. Just think, a few short years ago, before you were born, many people of color in America were denied the right to vote simply because of the color of their skin. People were asked to count the number of bubbles in a bar of soap, the number of jelly beans in a jar. But we march. You march today for others to march tomorrow. So use your education as a nonviolent instrument, a nonviolent tool to change America and help change our world. When I was growing up and I was asked about those signs saying white men, white women, colored women, white waiting, colored waiting, my mother would say, boy, that's the way it is. My grandparents would say, that's the way it is. Don't get in the way, don't get in trouble. But Rosa Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and hundreds and thousands of others inspired me to get in trouble, what I call good trouble, necessary trouble. So you must go out there and get in trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble, and help change America. We have a right to know what is in the food we eat. We have a right to know what is in the water we drink. We have a right to know what is in the air we breathe. You can do it. You must do it. If you fail to do it, who would do it? We must save our country, save our democracy, and make this world a little kinder and a little more free for everybody. It doesn't matter whether we're black or white, Latino, Asian, or American. We're one people. We're one family. Look out for everybody. I wish you well. The rain is telling me I should stop. Thank you.